Hey, what's going on there, YouTube? This is SCL0320. I am back for a brand new review of the Walking Dead TV series that I love. Since it's been getting crazy, y'all. This whole season, like between the death of Beth, the death of Tyrese, Bob. So many different deaths and things that have happened. This has been like an emotional roller coaster. And I know that Robert Kirkman, the creator and the writer, he has said that he wanted to switch things up, and even towards the season now, it's going to be even worse. It's going to be more of like a tearjerker kind of feel to it. This one was hard to take, quite honestly, because what they did so well in this one was the build-up of figuring out where these characters are going. From the priest, I mean, Gabriel, I do not like Gabriel's character because, one, he is insane. And I mean, when he started tearing like the scripture out, I mean, on a biblical sense, if the word was representation of God and his thought process and communication with God, then he is internally, on an emotional level, mad at himself, but he's going to turn out on everybody else. So basically, because of his indiscretion that he did to those people back at the church, then he's going to probably cause like an even bigger catastrophic thing to everybody else that's in the group. And by the end of the episode, you'll see the byproduct of that. So that was the first thing. But then, I mean, when you had Noah and you had Glenn and their relationship, stuff like that started, you could see where Glenn sees in Noah like some things that were just amazing as far as what he's capable of and his way of getting out of stuff. That's how Glenn was. I mean, when we first introduced Glenn, like, he was the one that got Rick out of the tank. And I mean, put his life in jeopardy to save everybody as a true born leader. And then even Noah had these aspirations of wanting to be able to build more with the fence and being an architect and designer. And he's talking with Deanna's husband, who was the one that built the original wall around the city. It's just really interesting character developments. Like, but I'm gonna tell you really soon where my heart feels where this is going really soon, without trying to spoil this as best I can. But the later on in the episode, you start to find out that Rick is trying to find a little bit of state of normalcy, but like at the same time really flirtatious with what's the name's wife and the doctor's wife, and Carol put herself in a situation because in the last episode she was found out by the doctor's son that she was stealing weapons, and basically she threatened his life essentially, but he keeps running back to her, and it's like, why does he keep running back? And you start to figure out everything, and this whole dilemma in and of itself creates a rift for Rick. And you don't know what Rick's gonna have to do to try to do something about this, you know. And it's really interesting how it all kind of plays out, or is playing out. Because I haven't looked at the next episode. I've heard interesting things about the next episode, episode 15. But anyway, moving on. With this one, when Aiden, Nicholas, Noah, Eugene, Glenn, and old girl go out, and they're gonna go and try to repair something because something happened with the communication lines, and they had to go and basically try to get a certain kind of part. Like, that's where all hell breaks loose in the episode. And be quite honest with you, I hate the character Nicholas. I despise him. Like, he's not just spineless. Like, I mean, I had issues with Eugene for kind of putting everybody in the spot, but Nicholas toxicate, man. By the end of the episode, honestly, I would have killed Nick. Like, for what goes down, you'll find out. If you haven't seen the episode already, you probably have. Chances are I'm the one that's behind. But what goes down, I mean, it's just messed up. The name of the episode is Spin, first of all. I'm sitting there going all in. The synopsis is way too long, so I'm not going to read it. All I can say is, as a run goes sideways, Carol learns troublesome secrets from the Anderson household. Gabriel tries to convince certain things about the team and the group to Deanna. That's the synopsis. But it's so much deeper than that because Maggie has an interesting relationship with Deanna, and it's really strange because I feel like Deanna is trying to kind of bring Maggie into this undertaking of kind of like being the main mother. And since Laura is not here for Rick, I think that honestly, Glenn is the future. In all honesty, I think that Rick would thrive as being the leader, but I think he's going to step more into a Herschel role years to come, but not right now. Because Rick right now, he's about to go on a warpath because what the outcome of what happens with the run with Nick, Glenn, Eugene, and everybody, like it's gonna go down. Even Eugene in this episode, I thought it was really interesting because he had let everybody know, he's like, man, I'm spineless, I'm this and that, but he's put through a situation where he had to be noble, bold, and at the same time selfless enough to get away from his fears. And it's really interesting how that happened. But I'm gonna spoil one thing. Because there's no way of getting around it. At this point, it's 2 episodes in. If you haven't seen it, I'm sorry. But Noah dies. Noah dies, not just a normal death, but a gruesomely terrible death. In addition to somebody else, which was Aiden. How they died and the way that they died, I'm not going to describe, but I can say that it was unnecessary on different levels. There's certain things that Aiden did. And I know Aiden deserved that punch in the beginning, the last episode, being showboater, but he had respect for Glenn on this episode. He understood that Glenn knew what he was talking about, but just circumstances kind of happened. And when it goes down, I was just like, man, this is messed up. And then what Nick does in the face of with Noah and with Glenn, how Noah died, I can get that because somebody made the wrong call, but how he died, it didn't have to go down like that. And being an African American and you got T-Dog, Tyrese, random black guy that was in the jail, which he doesn't matter, Bob, and now Noah, I'm like, you got the only black dude that nobody likes that's still alive. Come on, man. Even old girl Sasha's jacked up because she's not only dealing with post-traumatic stress and potential suicidal tendencies because of what happened to her family. Now you got a crazy homicidal preacher. And so, being a brother, I'm a little salty about it technically. I guess it makes for good television, but it's I felt like Noah's death was unnecessary. I felt like, why Robert Kirkman? If he was going to do that, I would have waited to the season finale for that. Why just randomly kill somebody that... I think that what they've always excelled at is with, even with Judith. When everybody was trying to look for Judith and they couldn't find Judith and she ended up being the one that was dead in the barn, that mess hurt. And it shows that no matter how pure something can be in this show or how promising they could seem, even with Beth, or when somebody starts excelling to a certain level, that's when they get kicked out. Now, I think that the summary version of it is that, okay, well, they just want to kill off somebody and kind of bring them up really fast to having a role and then just for them to be removed. I think it's more than that because looking at Judith and what she really represented was hope. I think that Noah represented the promise of a future and just good things, and it just got ripped away. Now, because Tyrese died, because Beth died, because Bob died, it's it doesn't feel the same weight as Judith because it wasn't it was just one person that of significance and representation that they died. It's just this is another person just gone. And I know that's the reality of the situation and you got everybody around. If you die, you're gonna turn. If you get bit, you're gonna turn. If you get killed, you're dead. It's the situation of The Walking Dead. But I was like, man, this is unnecessary at this point, man. I'll say this. This is my whole theory about everything. Because of Noah's death at the hands of what happened with Nick, because of what Gabriel's doing, and because of what Rick's about to find out about, I think, what's going on with the Anderson house, man, I feel like Carol has it in her mind and heart that she's gonna. I could just literally see. There's a scene that I'm looking at right now. I haven't started technically yet, but I looked at the first part of the new episode, and I see her just baking a cake. Man, honestly, what I pictured is just blood everywhere, and you're still baking her cakes. Like, that's just how I see. I mean, that's the vision that I see. I feel like even though Gabriel is so messed up, part of what he's saying is true, because I think that these folks, they literally can burn this place to the ground. And I'm talking about Rick's group. So I'm just gonna have to see the next episode and I'm gonna find out, but and nothing good could come from all this. Anyway, it's a good episode. It was a messed up episode at the same time. So because of what happened to Noah, I mean, I don't know, that was a shock value for it. I have to give it maybe a 9 or 8.5 out of 10. I did not like that. I really did not personally. But as a reviewer, it was good television, and I understood why and how they did it. I just feel like it was just too much death going on. I feel like it's unnecessary death at this point that's happening on the show. But anyway, what can you do? Alright, y'all, this is SCL0320. Hopefully y'all enjoyed the Walking Dead episode 14. What was the name of this one? I think it was Spend. Hopefully y'all enjoyed my review for it. And please leave your comments below. Anything you thought about episode 14, leave a like below if you like this review for it. And yeah, I'm going to do a review for episode 15 in just a little bit because I'm about to watch it. Anyway, y'all, signing out. Later.